We are in Sicily right now. I was invited to preach at this large congregation. Actually, the town of Gela, where I am, is the most populated evangelical community in Europe. They have about 6.8% evangelical. Amazing. And this church is about 1,500 members, which is extremely unusual for Italy. But anyway, Jen and I are heading now for Agrigento, which is the place where the Valley of the Temple resides. So it's going to be more of an excursion today with us. Hopefully you will enjoy it, and I'll catch you later on. Ciao. We are in the Valley of the Temples in Agrigento, Sicily. And we just started this walk. It's about a 2-kilometer walk. It's kind of interesting, to look at these remains. Look at this. There's so much that is left over of the different temples. Look at all these columns, huge columns. And we're up on a hill. Down there, it's kind of a bad day right now, but down there is the sea. And the idea was to have temples like this erected on a hill so that they could communicate to any potential invader that the town was protected by the deity. In this case, they had, I think this was Athena right behind me. I believe there is Zeus somewhere up ahead. We just started. But so much for protection, right? From the gods. This is quite remarkable. I mean, look at the size of these stones that made up the columns that you see right there. Actually, back there is the temple of Hercules. So much again for his strength. Now, this temple was built apparently with 15 columns versus the regular 13 columns by 6 columns. And they don't know how it crumbled. They're speculating it might have been an earthquake, but there is a temple nearby that is still intact. So that's probably not the case. Also, it's very interesting how they hewed these holes into the stone so that they could be set up properly, one on top of the other. On this one, what is interesting too is the fact that the top of it, it's smaller than the bottom, showing kind of a feeling of the column getting squished at the base. And that was signifying the power that Hercules had to squish things. So initially, this was supposed to be the area where the blood sacrifice from the animal would flow, downstream. The temple is right here. And then they turn into an aqueduct. And even the symbolism of this, this is, again, Hercules, who was the son of Jupiter, who obviously mixed with a woman, human, which brings us back to Genesis 6. This is one of the most well-preserved temples in Sicily, right here. And it is the temple to Juno. She is the wife of Zeus. Again, all ritual animal sacrifices, all the pagan activities, took place on the inside of it. My bad, this is not Juno, this is actually Concordia. Still in great shape. To put things in the right perspective, I'm walking from the Concordia temple toward the June's temple. Well, we cannot see it, but it's down there. Anyways, what I was wondering is, here you have, again, we are looking at 580 BC in terms of era. You have the Greeks, they came and settled, and then the Carthaginians came, and those are the modern days Lebanese, and in 300 took over. And then in 212, the Romans came and took over themselves. Now, the Romans used the same deity as the Greeks. So why would the gods unfavor the Greeks and favor the Romans, though they're the same gods? What do you think? Again, beautiful setup for a temple. So this is Junone right here, Zeus' wife, Juno. And the water actually used to come all the way underneath here, just under here. And now it's about 3 kilometers out there. And finally we arrived to the Temple of Zeus, Jupiter, right here. This is the largest temple in all the Mediterranean Sea area. It's about 60,000 square feet, roughly about 320 feet by 150 feet. And what is left is rubble. This is it. Unbelievable. Isn't it ironic that the most powerful God, the God of all gods, has nothing left here? Interesting irony. And this is the remnants of the altar to Jupiter, Zeus, right here. Pretty impressive. It's the largest one in the Greek world. It's 56 meters by 16 meters. It's right next door to whatever is remaining of the temple of Zeus. And that's Jane reading notes. They will be sacrificing 450 bulls at a time in front of his temple. I'm at the museum right now, and here's a better representation of the Thalamus that we saw earlier in the temple of Zeus, Jupiter. Look at these figures. To get a feel for it, look at the actual real figure over there. Pretty impressive. The sad part is that, again, the temple of Zeus that was pretty much destroyed as we saw it back in mid-1800. They used a lot of the stone to build a fort nearby. Unbelievable. And this is, yeah, see the temple way down there. There it is. That's one of the temples. Looks like Hercules, actually. And this over here is the Ecclesiasterium. Does it sound familiar? When Christ talks about, I will build my ecclesia. So this is the gathering that they had where people of the city would come together and discuss issues, permanent issues, and make decisions. That's what it looks like. Pretty neat. Guys and gals, this concludes our 17,230 steps tour. A lot of ruins, but they all attest to the fact that temples do not withstand the test of time, except though the temple of the Holy Spirit, which resides in our bodies as believers. And so is his church, the gathering of the believers, a living body, not an edifice. I wish you all a great weekend, and I'll catch you the next one. Ciao.